going on, everybody? It is your boy Baddog, back with another New York Giants video. Thank you for watching, guys and girls. I really do appreciate it. Hit that subscribe, hit that like button, all that good stuff. That really helped out the video. I greatly appreciate it. Greatly appreciate you watching. Going to try to do a lot more Giants content on this building up to training camp. And obviously, not a ton to talk about this time of year. It is kind of the dead time of the NFL. But if I see an article or an opinion or something, and I want to give my thoughts on it, I just figure, why the hell not? So I was reading an article about PFF. Don't we all love PFF? We all love it. We all take their ratings right to heart and everything they do, and they're usually way off. Maybe they're not way off. I don't know. But this time around, they rank the New York Giants offensive line 18th. 18th. Yeah, I'm not mad about that. I don't remember the last time the Giants offensive line was ranked that high, to be honest with you. Listen, there's still a lot of question marks. We know Andrew Thomas. We know what he is. But pretty much, it's a completely revamped offensive line. You're going to have Shane Lemieux at left guard coming off of knee surgery. You got Feliciano at center, and you got Glowinski at right guard. And, of course, you got Evan Neal, our 7th overall pick at right tackle. So you got Thomas, Lemieux, Feliciano, Glowinski, and Evan Neal. Evan Neal hasn't even played a snap in the NFL, and it's already moved the Giants' offensive line up into the top 20. Listen, for years, New York Giants fans have clamored to fix the offensive line with good reason. We've seen our quarterback get injured a number of times. He hasn't had a ton of time to throw. I do think Daniel Jones has more time to throw than people think he does, but on obvious passing downs, he doesn't. That I'll say, if it's an obvious passing down, our offensive line gets blown up. So maybe first and second down, Daniel Jones' average time is pretty decent. But if it's 3rd and 9 or 3rd and 11, he's got no chance. He has no chance. And our running game has been absolutely dreadful. And that doesn't help Daniel Jones either. So we have clamored to have a good offensive line to help out our quarterback. We've clamored to have a good offensive line to open up holes for he is our best offensive player by far when he's healthy, and that is Saquon Barkley. And we've always said if the Giants could just get a top half of the offensive line, like mediocre, like not top 10. That'd be amazing if we could ever be a top 10 offensive line, but not bottom of the barrel, not 28th, not 30th, not 31st, like we've been the last few years under the previous regimes. Now, what PFF's ratings mean, it doesn't mean a whole lot. That's like me giving you a rating, right? It really doesn't matter. You'd say, well, they know more than you. Yeah, they probably do, but they probably don't at the same time. They're going to know a little more than me, but I always sit here and tell you I think that passing the eye test is what really makes you believe a team is good or bad. I don't get into all the analytics. I just watch the screen, and Yogi Berra used to say you could observe a lot by watching, and that's really the way I kind of delve into this stuff. Yes, I'm a fan first. I'm not an analyst, but at the same time, I know when my offensive line is bad. One of the funniest things, and I plan on doing a comment on the comments eventually, and Uncle Lou always says, I always love when people say, you don't know what you're talking about. You've never played in the NFL. You've never coached in the NFL. You've never quarterbacked. How can you play that? Yeah, well, like Uncle Lou says, man, I've never watched it. I've never directed, starred in, or produced a movie, but I know when a movie sucks. I've never played an instrument in my life or sang, but I know when somebody can't sing. That's why I don't sing. I know when somebody can't sing. I know when somebody sounds terrible. I know when somebody can't play the guitar. I know when somebody can't play the keyboard or the drums. I know this stuff. I've never been a chef in my life, but I can tell you when a meal is good and when a meal is terrible. You don't have to do something to know if it's good or bad. What about all these political channels? So you're telling me these people, hey, if you've never held office, you can't have an opinion on politics? Give me a break. Give me a break. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, right? I've had good takes. I've had bad takes, as you saw in one of a couple previous videos, a couple videos ago. Some of the bad takes I've had, but I'm not going to say excited because, again, I don't want to get myself worked up. This happens every year. It's May. Giants are going to suck. Then it's June. It's like, hey, maybe. Then it's July, and you hear camp, and I'm like, oh, man, the Giants are looking good. And then preseason comes like, oh, we're going to be good. Like, it happens to me every time because I'm a fan, right? Because I am a fan. So I get worked up, I get pumped up, and I start thinking, oh, this team's going to be better than it is. And I'm trying to curtail my expectations. But when I do see something like PFF come out and rate the Giants in the top 20, and this is without Evan Neal even playing it down, if he can be anything like he's projected to be, I do think this offensive line will be a lot better. And if our offense can get better, I think we're going to be a competitive team. Everything pretty much revolves around the offensive line, and us Giants fans have talked about this for years. This will help everybody else. Hopefully it helps Saquon Barkley stay healthy. And Saquon says his body feels good. He's ready to go. He's 2 years removed from this knee surgery, and sometimes it does take 2 years for a guy to recover. Hopefully he is 100%. It's a free agent year for Saquon Barkley. It is a free agent year for Daniel Jones. These guys have everything to gain. They have everything to lose as well, right? So they're both going to want to come out. They're going to want to put their best foot forward. They're going to want to have huge years because either the Giants are going to say, okay, we believe in you, Daniel Jones. We're going to tag you for a 5th year. I don't think they can tag Saquon Barkley. I'm not exactly sure how that works, but regardless, teams could say, okay, Saquon Barkley looks really good. Let's pay the guy some top running back money. Or Daniel Jones looks really good. Maybe somebody else wants to go out there and pay him some top quarterback money. But these guys have a lot to play for, and having a good offensive line in front of them will certainly help them. And in turn, it'll help us because our defense wasn't extremely talented, and James Batcher was definitely very passive, much like Joe Judge was, just very conservative all the way around. We played a bend but don't break defense. But if the offense would have been able to hold its own, we probably could have won more. We would have won more than 4 games. And the same thing, we would have been better than 6-10 a couple years ago if the offense would have just got going. If we could have had some semblance of an offense that could score in the red zone. And the offensive line in the red zone is so important. Being able to run the ball on 3rd and short, being able to convert 3rd and 3 and 3rd and 4 and extend those drives and keep your defense fresh and wear their defense out. That is why, as much as this has become a passing league, it's an air and out league, and it's an offensive league, I will continue to say till the day that I die, the game is won up front. The Giants have been pushed around on both sides of the ball for years, which it reflects in our record. Our offensive lines got shoved around. Our defensive lines got pushed around too. Now this year with Wink Martindale at the helm and picking up a guy like Kayvon Thibodeau and, having Azeez Ojulari, who I just think is poised to have a huge year, having those guys could also help Leonard Williams, in turn help Dexter Lawrence. You would hope, right? One would hope that the defense is just as good, if not better, than it's been in previous years. And if the offense can be middle of the pack, the Giants may surprise some people. I'm not going to sit here and tell you we're going to win 10 games or 11 games because I don't expect that. But I do think that with a good offensive line and a decent offense, this team can compete. This team may be able to sneak up on a couple of opponents that maybe didn't think they could be. Maybe they could be a couple games better. When I did my prediction video, I pretty much think I said the floor for us. I predicted us to go 6-11, but I predicted the floor at 4 and the ceiling at 9. And I do think that, like I said, if everything goes right for the Giants and they don't sustain long-term injuries to key players and the offensive line does improve, I could see them being a 500 team or very close. I could see them winning 8 games. I mean, that is definitely possible. But everything has to go right. If we come out here, I did the video last night talking about how Shane's anxious to see everybody on the field because he really didn't get to see any of the wide receivers. He didn't get to see a lot of the defensive players, because they didn't really partake in drills. Kenny Galladay's the only starting receiver that had partaken in drills. Obviously, Wan'Dale Robinson's out there, and the Giants like to spread it out on offense. But if they're going to use Wan'Dale Robinson, they're going to have Shepard and Kadarius Toney and Kenny Galladay if they're going to want to run a spread offense like that. So, again, it'll all hinder on the offensive line, the way we run, the way we pass, the way we do a lot of things. If you're going to want to get Saquon Barkley involved in a passing game and some screens, you're going to have these linemen being able to get out and pull and do things like that. And if they can do that, then again, I think the offense will be better. And in turn, I think the team will be better, but we'll just wait and see. But I will be honest with you guys and girls. I was encouraged by that. At PFF, usually these are sour taste in my mouth. And again, I'm not sitting there, that's the end all be all. I'm not like, well, when they rate the Giants bad, they're wrong. And when they rate the Giants good, they're right. I'm not saying that. But normally, when PFF does rate the Giants offensive line, it is near the bottom of the league, and with good reason. And the fact that they've projected them to be a top 20 offensive line before the season's even started, and pretty much, like I said, it's revamped. You can't even really count Shane Lemieux, so the only staple of that line going into 2022 is Andrew Thomas. So looking at that line, and there's a lot of question marks, and there's a bunch of new guys on that line with Andrew Thomas. The fact that they think that they're a top 20 line going into the year, that was encouraging to me. that definitely is positive news. And I like to hear that because we haven't had a lot of that with the New York Giants. So let me know what you think in the comments section, guys. I mean, do you think PFF is right? Do you think the Giants are a top 18 offensive line? Do you think their 18th is right? Do you think they should be rated a little bit higher? Do you think they should be rated lower? Do you think they're a bottom tier offensive line still? Let me know what you think in the comments section. And as always, thank you for watching. If you made it this far, you're a trooper. Like, subscribe. Make sure you ring the bell if you subscribe. And look forward to making more future Giants content here in the coming days. So until then, enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. It's Baddog Dizzle. I'm out. Peace.